Most people think stress only becomes a problem when the body finally breaks down, but here's the uncomfortable truth: by the time physical symptoms show up, your emotional health has been struggling for a long time. Studies suggest over 70% of adults live with chronic stress, yet most never connect their irritability, anxiety, emotional numbness, or constant overthinking to real risks like weakened immunity, poor sleep, weight gain, and cardiovascular problems. Maybe you've felt it yourself, snapping at people you care about, lying in bed exhausted but unable to shut your mind off, or feeling strangely disconnected from a life that looks fine on the outside. That's not normal life pressure, that's your nervous system waving a red flag. The real danger isn't stress itself, it's ignoring the emotional warning signs that show up first, quietly sabotaging mental health, balance, and quality of life while you keep pushing forward. In this video, you'll uncover the emotional signals your body uses before disease ever appears, and how simple, practical shifts in self-care, stress reduction, and lifestyle habits can change the trajectory before things spiral. By the end of this, you'll see chronic stress for what it really is, not a weakness, but a message you can finally learn to decode and use to protect your health. Chronic stress almost never hits the body first. It shows up emotionally, quietly, and way earlier than most people expect. Long before someone deals with high blood pressure, weakened immunity, or sleep problems, the mind starts sending signals through mood shifts, low patience, and emotional imbalance. A person might still be eating fairly well, trying to stay active, chasing a healthy lifestyle, yet something feels off inside. That's because mental health and emotional health are usually the first systems to take the hit, even when everything looks normal on the outside. From a preventive medicine perspective, this isn't random at all. The brain is the command center for well-being, stress reduction, cardiovascular health, and overall quality of life, so when chronic stress sticks around, emotions absorb the impact first. Cortisol stays elevated, the nervous system stays on edge, and emotional regulation weakens before any clear physical symptom shows up, acting like a check engine light most people ignore. Picture someone doing all the right things on paper: balanced nutrition, some physical exercise, maybe even mindfulness routines, yet snapping at small inconveniences or feeling emotionally drained by lunchtime. That's not lack of discipline, that's biology at work. Research shows prolonged stress can reduce emotional resilience by nearly 30% before the body fully reacts, pulling energy away from long-term health, disease prevention, and balance, and pushing it into survival mode instead. This is why real self-care and prevention don't start with supplements or extreme routines. They start with noticing emotional shifts early, because catching them protects immunity, supports healthy weight management, improves sleep, and preserves emotional balance over time. And once those emotional warning signs start getting louder, they rarely stay isolated, because the next signal usually shows up in how a person reacts to everything and everyone around them. Constant irritability is one of the clearest emotional signs that chronic stress has been running the show for way too long, even when a person thinks they're managing just fine. Small things suddenly feel huge: a slow driver, a short email, someone chewing too loud, and the emotional reaction doesn't match the situation at all. This isn't a personality flaw, it's the nervous system stuck in fight or flight mode, draining mental health, emotional balance, and overall well-being day after day. When stress stays high, the brain loses flexibility, making it harder to pause, reflect, or respond calmly, which slowly chips away at relationships, work performance, and quality of life. Over time, this emotional volatility increases cortisol even more, directly affecting immunity, sleep quality, and cardiovascular health. Imagine someone snapping at their partner in the morning, feeling guilty by noon, and emotionally exhausted by evening. That cycle repeats so often it becomes their new normal, silently blocking stress reduction and real self-care. From a prevention standpoint, studies show people under chronic stress are up to 40% more likely to develop anxiety-related disorders and stress-driven inflammation if these emotional patterns go unchecked. Practical steps matter here: daily physical exercise like a 20-minute walk after dinner, balanced nutrition that stabilizes blood sugar, and simple mindfulness practices, like slow breathing for 5 minutes before reacting, can noticeably reduce irritability within weeks. This isn't about perfection, it's about interrupting the stress loop early so healthy weight management, emotional health, and long-term balance stay intact. And when irritability stops being occasional and starts feeling constant, it often points to something deeper, an emotional shutdown that many people don't even realize is happening yet. Feeling emotionally numb or disconnected isn't calm, peace, or balance. It's often the nervous system hitting the mute button after being overstimulated for too long. When chronic stress drags on, the brain protects itself by dulling emotions, which might feel like relief at first, but slowly drains mental health, emotional health, and overall well-being. People stop getting excited about things they used to love, conversations feel shallow, and even wins don't bring real satisfaction anymore. This emotional exhaustion is closely tied to poor sleep quality, weakened immunity, and reduced motivation for physical exercise or an active lifestyle, making healthy habits feel like a chore instead of support. From a preventive medicine angle, research shows emotional numbness often appears months before burnout or stress-related illness, acting as a silent warning sign many ignore. Think of someone scrolling endlessly at night, not because they're relaxed, but because they're too tired to feel anything else. Sleep suffers, stress stays high, and recovery never fully happens. Practical steps matter here, rebuilding connection through small, intentional actions like sunlight exposure in the morning, short walks without headphones, journaling for 5 minutes, or mindfulness-based breathing before bed can begin restoring emotional balance within a few weeks. Even nutrition plays a role. Balanced meals with protein and healthy fats help stabilize mood and support brain health. This stage isn't failure, it's feedback, showing that stress reduction and self-care can't wait anymore. Because once numbness becomes the norm, the mind quietly prepares the body for a deeper crash that shows up in the next emotional signal. Anxiety and constant overthinking aren't signs of being driven or productive, they're signs that the nervous system has forgotten how to power down. When chronic stress takes over, the mind stays stuck in future problems, worst-case scenarios, and endless mental loops, even during moments that should feel calm. People lie in bed exhausted but wired, replaying conversations, planning tomorrow, or worrying about things completely out of their control, which slowly erodes mental health, sleep quality, and emotional balance. This state keeps cortisol elevated around the clock, directly interfering with immunity, cardiovascular health, and healthy weight regulation, making stress reduction feel impossible. From a disease prevention perspective, studies show chronic anxiety can increase the risk of heart disease by over 25% and significantly raise inflammation markers over time. Practical steps help interrupt this loop, limiting caffeine after midday, grounding the body through light physical exercise like stretching or evening walks, and using mindfulness techniques such as box breathing or guided body scans before sleep. Even simple routines, like shutting down screens 60 minutes before bed or writing a short brain dump list, can noticeably improve sleep within weeks. Anxiety isn't the problem, it's the message, signaling that balance, self-care, and a healthier lifestyle need attention now, because when the mind can't relax anymore, the body soon starts paying the price in far more serious ways. Ignoring emotional warning signs of chronic stress doesn't make them disappear, it pushes them deeper into the body, where they eventually turn into real health problems. When irritability, numbness, and anxiety are brushed off as just life, stress quietly shifts from emotional health into physical systems like immunity, cardiovascular health, digestion, and sleep regulation. Over time, this raises the risk of high blood pressure, insulin resistance, chronic inflammation, and even depression, directly affecting quality of life and long-term well-being. Preventive medicine research shows people who ignore chronic stress signals are significantly more likely to develop stress-related illnesses within 5 to 10 years compared to those who intervene early. Picture someone who keeps pushing through exhaustion, relying on caffeine instead of rest, skipping balanced nutrition, and abandoning physical exercise because they're too tired. The body keeps score, even when the mind pretends everything's fine. This is where disease prevention, self-care, and lifestyle balance stop being optional and start becoming survival tools. Simple changes, consistent sleep schedules, stress reduction practices, active lifestyle habits, and supportive therapies like mindfulness or natural therapies can dramatically reduce long-term risk when applied early. The key isn't doing everything at once, it's choosing awareness before breakdown, because once emotional stress hardens into physical disease, reversing it takes far more effort than preventing it ever did, and that realization sets the stage for understanding what these signals are really asking from you next. Remember how overwhelming it felt at the beginning, snapping at small things, feeling emotionally drained, lying awake at night while your mind refused to slow down? Now you can see those moments for what they really were, early warning signs, not personal failures. You've already started shifting the game by understanding how emotional stress impacts mental health, immunity, sleep, cardiovascular health, and long-term quality of life before the body ever breaks down. The real power is in application, choosing better self-care, prioritizing stress reduction, committing to balanced nutrition, regular physical exercise, mindfulness, and an active lifestyle that actually supports your nervous system instead of draining it. So here's the real question: what's one small change you can make today to protect your well-being before stress turns into disease? What would your life look like a year from now if you treated emotional signals as prevention instead of noise? You don't need perfection, you need consistency, awareness, and the courage to choose balance over burnout. If this opened your eyes, imagine what else you could learn by staying connected. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and keep learning how to build real health, real balance, and a life that actually feels good to live.